Good morning, Douglas County citizens and staff, and welcome to the Wednesday Douglas County Board of Commissioners May 3rd business meeting. We will now call this meeting to order. To ensure that we have a quorum in order to conduct today's business, I will ask if each commissioner will present themselves as present when I call your name. District 2 Commissioner Kelly Robinson.
Present, Madam Vice Chair.
District 4 Commissioner Mark Alcaraz.
Present.
And I am your District 3 Commissioner and Vice Chair, Terenia Carthen. We do have a quorum. Commissioners, you have had a chance to look at the agenda. I ask if there are any updates, deletions, or additions to the agenda as presented. If none, can we adopt the agenda by consent?
Concur.
Agreed.
Thank you. And the agenda has been adopted. We will move into our invocation brought forth by our own James Worthington of the Development Services Department here at Douglas County. After the prayer, I ask that everyone would please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So tomorrow is the National Day of Prayer, so we're getting a
an
day
early
early
start.
start on this. So, and that's themed around James chapter 5, verse 16, that ends with the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. So we should all try to pray a little more. Pray for me, pray for this county. So with that, let's get going. Lord, our Heavenly Father, we thank you again for another beautiful day, another wonderful day that you've made, Lord, another opportunity to stand before you, Lord. I ask you to just continue to be with this county, Lord, be with the leadership, be with the staff, be with the citizens, Lord, that we'll pray for one another, Lord, that we'll have unity and peace and good direction, Lord. Just ask you to lead this county, give guidance to the leaders, Lord, that they make good decisions that are pleasing to you, Lord, and that we'll have something that's wonderful for our future, Lord. Just ask you to continue to be with us, bless us in all things we do. These things I ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Director Worthington. We will now have our public comment. Clerk Watson, did anyone sign up?
Yes, ma'am. We did have one citizen. Before I call on that citizen, I'll just remind everyone that each speaker will have up to 3 minutes to address the board. A 15-second warning will sound, and at that time, you'll have 15 seconds to complete your statement. Once you reach the podium, just restate your name and address and subject matter, and your time will begin at that time. So we had Ms. Sharon Bachtel. Ms. Bachtel.
Sharon Bachtel, 6331 South Skyline Drive, and thank you for allowing me to speak. Since Human Resources is on the agenda today, item 24, I believe, I would like to kind of give a heads up to the Human Resource consultant. I would like to talk about jobs, hiring practices, and salaries. In November of 2021, I asked the BOC why they are paying their legislative aides such high salaries. They get paid more than firemen and sheriff deputies who risk their lives to protect us. Commissioner Carthen replied that her aide had a college degree, so she deserved to be paid a high salary. Now a new aide has been hired for $60,000 a year. He turned in an incomplete application and has no college degree. According to the ad that posted April 13th, and which ran only 4 days, the applicant was required to have an associate degree or 2 years of college credit and study in public administration, business administration, political science, communication, or a related field. On the new aide's application, the hours of study were left blank, and he had no degree. After he was hired and signed the contract, he still was not required to show proof of his education. How does an applicant who has no proof of qualifications get the job? The majority of the other applicants were college graduates with associate, bachelor, and master degrees. I think this is an example of job rigging. The notoriety of the applicant's mother, State Representative Kimberly Alexander, got him his job. Also, this newly hired aide did business with Commissioner Carthen by working on her campaign. I think Commissioner Carthen should have abstained from voting. So much for a college education. It seems to me it is not what you know that gets you a job, but who you know. The state says that jobs should be advertised 10 days before awarding the job. This ad ran only 4 days. Many times in the past, I have seen jobs awarded without advertising. All job openings should be posted every time to allow all citizens a chance for the job. In May of 2022, a job was created by Dr. Stanley Stewart, and it was not advertised, and it was not approved by the BOC, but it was awarded. It was not offered to any other citizen. Is that fair? I would also like to say if DEI and DBE is the reason our sheriff and fire departments are understaffed, then that needs to stop. It is your responsibility to make sure the citizens are safe and protected. Thank you.
No one else signed up.
Thank you. We will now have our approval of minutes, commission meeting minutes of April 18th, 2023, work session minutes of April 17th, 2023, and the executive session minutes of April 17th, 2023. Board of Commissioners, I pray that you have had a chance to read over those minutes. Are there any additions, updates, or deletions in regards to those meeting minutes?
No.
Being none, I will accept a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes from April 18th, April 17th, which would be the work session minutes, executive session minutes, and also the commissioner meeting minutes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I have a motion and a second. All in favor? We're doing online? Please prepare to cast your vote.
Vice Chair, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, and the minutes have been approved unanimously. Our next agenda item is for proclamations. Proclamation item number 4, proclaiming the month of May 2023 as Older Americans Month in Douglas County, and this will be presented by our own Dr. Gilchrist. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, and citizens. It gives me great pleasure to stand before you today recognizing the awesome and amazing contributions older Americans have made to our society. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Before I move forward, Madam Vice Chair, if it's okay with you, I would like to make a few acknowledgments. Thank you. Will our dynamic senior services team please stand? I'd like to take the opportunity to say thank you so much for your talent, for your skills, but most importantly, thank you for your heart, your grind, your tenacity. We could not do this without you, so thank you so much. I am very, very grateful. Thank you. Now, will our honorees please stand? So, good morning, good morning. Yes, you all are the reason why we show up to work every day. We salute you, we value you, and we are honored to be able to serve you. Douglas County senior citizens rock, and thank you all so much for all that you have done, all that you will continue to do. We appreciate you and we love you, so thank you so much. Now, the proclamation. Older Americans Month, May 2023. Whereas each year, the President of the United States and the Governor of Georgia proclaim the month of May as a time to honor older Americans. And whereas this is an occasion to highlight how older Americans are making fabulous impacts in our community on a daily basis. And whereas we recognize the undeniable truth that older adults in Douglas County have made countless contributions and sacrifices to ensure a better life for future generations locally, nationally, and globally. And whereas the United States Administration on Aging's 2023 theme for Older Americans Month, Aging Unbound, highlights diverse aging experiences, combats ageist stereotypes, and showcases how we all benefit when older Americans are supported to remain engaged, independent, and included. And whereas Douglas County is committed to making awareness about issues facing older Americans by assisting all older Americans to thrive in communities of their choice for as long as possible without sacrificing their dignity or self-esteem. And whereas our community will promote engaging and meaningful wellness, educational, and social activities by emphasizing home and community-based services that support independent living, and by ensuring community members benefit from the plethora of contributions and experiences of older Americans. And whereas Douglas County can further provide opportunities that support and encourage older Americans to continue to flourish by emphasizing the importance of older Americans and their leadership, by publicly recognizing their continued achievements, presenting opportunities for older Americans to share their wisdom, experience, and skills, and recognizing older adults as a valuable asset in strengthening our community. And whereas Douglas County commits to continue to building an even better community for older adults by planning programs that encourage independence, ensuring activities are responsive to individual needs and preferences, and by increasing access and services that support aging in place. Be it therefore proclaimed by the Douglas County Board of Commissioners, because of the inspiration received from these, our honorable and courageous elders, that the month of May 2023 be designated as Older Americans Month in Douglas County. We urge every resident to recognize the contributions of older adults, help create an inclusive society, and join efforts to support their choices about how they age in their communities. So proclaim this third day of May 2023.
Thank you, Dr. Gilchrist. Board of Commissioners, you have heard the proclamation read proclaiming the month of May 2023 as Older Americans Month in Douglas County. What say you?
Madam Vice Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept this proclamation for Older Americans Month in Douglas County for May 2023.
I have a motion,
Second.
and I have a second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Vice Chair.
You have the floor, Commissioner Alvarez.
Ms. Gilchrist, I'd like to take an opportunity to thank you and your staff for the wonderful things that you do for our seniors. The moment that I visited you at the Lithia Springs Senior Services Center, the faces of those that were there being very active that day, you could just see the smiles, the camaraderie, the laughter that was going on. And not only that, it was how they interacted with your staff as well that I noticed, that you could see the friendship and the enjoyment that they were having at your facility. But I thank you and your staff for all that you do for our seniors, and for our seniors, thank you for the foundation that you've laid. You know, if nobody's really told you, thank you. because you make a difference. Your life experiences of what you've told your children and everything throughout the years, I know somewhere you've been a blessing, because there's been many in my life that have been such a blessing to me. And I want to thank you all for just staying active and being involved in our community. And thank you for everything that you've instilled in our community and in those around you. Thank you. I yield back, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Robinson, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I'll keep this going and just continue and dovetail behind Commissioner Alcaraz's comments. We made this comment last night during our zoning meeting that seniors do matter. And an atmosphere should be created in which they can age in place, whether it's through independence, whether it's through assisted, whatever it may be, is your government there for you. And so, Dr. Gilchrist, I congratulated you this morning. Hadn't seen you, but congratulations again on your ascension, but also for the leadership in creating an atmosphere on how to really serve our seniors. Again, American culture is interesting how sometimes we different pockets treat our seniors. I can't accept less than just, they've already paid into the system. We wouldn't be here without them. And sometimes I see, and I appreciate the commitment to make sure that we care, we do see them. It's not after the fact. It's not a charitable, I pat myself on the back, that we really care about, to his point, the wisdom that they represent. If this younger generation can hear, yield to the seniors, listen. They're trying to get you something. You got to pay attention now. At some point, you will rule the world, but in the meantime, the seniors are on deck. They got something for you that you can build upon. So I just want to celebrate all my seniors. Again, Dr. Gilchrist, all your staff and what you guys are doing. Keep going, please. That's all I got to say. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I yield.
Thank you. To Dr. Gilchrist and the senior citizens staff over at Woody Fight, the Lithia Springs, and the one that I usually serve at, which is the one on Fairburn Road. Thank you for all that you continue to do. Douglas County is one of the most vibrant counties for seniors to age in, and it's because of you all. The programs that you come up with make me wish, I was 55 a little bit sooner so that I could join in on all the activities that you have and provide for our seniors right here in the community. Last night we had a packed house, seniors. I want to let you know we had a packed house because we had a planning and zoning meeting. And one of the things that was on the agenda was senior housing. We know how important senior housing is in Douglas County, and we had a developer that came before us and wanted to ensure we had senior housing that was affordable and very nice. You would not believe how many citizens my age and younger that stood up against that developer. When I tell you we have to fight for you, not only do we have to fight for you, we have to advocate for you, because you deserve it. And guess what? One day we're going to be you, and we would want somebody to do it for us, right? So I applaud you when you come out to support us. I applaud you when I see how packed out the Woody Fight Center is and the Lithia Springs Center is, how you guys show up and show out and show people. It doesn't matter my age. I'm here, I'm a citizen, I'm a tax-paying citizen, and I deserve everything that everybody else gets. All right. So again, continue to do what you're doing. Continue to show up. Continue to email me. I love the emails. Continue to stop me in the store. Continue to do what you're doing, because you help to make our job much more impactful and much more meaningful. Thank you. Board of Commissioners, we have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your vote accordingly. And the proclamation passes 3-0, unanimous vote. Thank you, Dr. Gilchrist. Can we come down and take a picture?
I'll go first. I'm hurting to see.
Hey, how are you doing? Good, good.
Thank you again, Dr. Gilchrist and our seniors. We'll give you a moment to transition.
because she does a good job of making sure they have the shirts.
Make sure you got your phones and your purses and all your belongings.
I know, right? I know, like, it makes you feel important, like,
Board of Commissioners, we will now continue. Tab number 5, proclaiming May 7th through the 13th, 2023 as Public Service Recognition Week in Douglas County. Our very own Wendy Cottle will read this proclamation. Welcome, Wendy.
Good morning, Vice Chair Carthen. Good morning, Board of Commissioners. I sure do wish I was after, or Dr. Gilchrist was after me, because she's such a hard act to follow with all her seniors, but I'll just have to do my best. I'd like to say before reading the proclamation that as a public servant, we don't do this for the money.
Say that again.
We do not do this for the money.
Amen.
We do this because we have a spirit of giving, a spirit that wants to help, spirit that wants to contribute in a meaningful way to our communities. And I want to thank all of my fellow public servants behind me and all of our 1,200 staff throughout the county for what they do. Public Service Recognition Week, in honor of the millions of public employees at the federal, state, county, and city levels. Whereas, Americans are served every single day by public servants at the federal, state, county, and city levels. These unsung heroes do the work that keeps our nation working. Their tireless efforts are especially critical today since the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas public employees take not only jobs, but oaths. And whereas many public servants, including military personnel, police officers, firefighters, Border Patrol officers, embassy employees, healthcare professionals, and others, risk their lives each day in service to the people of the United States and around the world. And whereas public servants include teachers, doctors, and scientists, train conductors and astronauts, nurses and safety inspectors, laborers, computer technicians, and social workers, and countless other occupations. Day in and day out, they provide the diverse services demanded by the American people of their government with efficiency and integrity. And whereas, without these public servants at every level, continuity would be impossible in a democracy that regularly changes its leaders and elected officials. Therefore, the Douglas County Board of Commissioners hereby announces and proclaims to all citizens and sets seal hereto that the week of May 7th through 13th, 2023 is Public Service Recognition Week. All citizens are encouraged to recognize the accomplishments and contributions of government employees at all levels, federal, state, county, and city. So proclaimed this third day of May, 2023.
Thank you, Ms. Cottle. Board of Commissioners, you have heard the proclamation to proclaim May 7th through the 13th, 2023 as Public Service Recognition Week. Do I have a motion?
Madam Vice Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept the proclamation for Public Service Recognition Week in Douglas County from May 7th through the 13th.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second that, Vice Chair.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I will discuss. I just want to say thank you to the staff. We know that we are in some turbulent times here in Douglas County, yet almost each and every one of you have been right there with us. You've said encouraging things, you've said prayers, you've stopped us in the hallway. You have continued to ensure that Douglas County delivers. We serve great people here in the county. We serve our neighbors, we serve our church members, we serve those who our children go to school with. We always continue to serve, right? Most of us live in this community, and so we know how important it is to give of ourselves, not only in this job, but to our neighbors. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting this Board of Commissioners. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed. Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Being none, please prepare to cast your vote accordingly. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Cottle. All right, so you have the next one as well. Tab number 6, proclaiming the month of May 2023 as Mental Health Awareness Month in Douglas County.
Yes, ma'am. Before COVID-19 rocked our world, we were struggling with another pandemic, and that is the mental illness and mental health pandemic. So it's very important that we keep this issue at the forefront and continue to shine awareness on it so it becomes, so the taboo surrounding mental health and mental illness will go away so our people can get the help they need. Douglas County Mental Health Awareness Month. Whereas mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and whereas all Americans experience times of difficulty and stress in their lives, and whereas prevention is an effective way to reduce the burden of mental illness, and whereas there is a strong body of research that supports specific tools that all Americans can use to better handle challenges and protect their health and well-being, and whereas mental illnesses are real and prevalent in our nation, and whereas with early and effective treatment, those individuals with mental illnesses can recover and lead full, productive lives. And whereas, outside of the criminal justice system, each business, school, government agency, healthcare provider, organization, and citizen shares the burden of mental illnesses and has a responsibility to promote mental wellness and support prevention efforts. Therefore, the Douglas County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim May 2023 as Mental Health Month in Douglas County, Georgia, and call upon the citizens, government agencies, corporations and small businesses, organizations of faith, as well as public or private schools and universities in Douglas County to recommit our community and participate in pre-intervention education and training to increase awareness as well as understanding of mental health, the steps our citizens can take to protect their mental health, and the need for appropriate and accessible services for all people with mental illnesses at all stages. So proclaimed this third day of May, 2023.
Thank you. Board of Commissioners, you have heard the proclamation proclaiming the month of May 2023 as Mental Health Awareness Month here in Douglas County. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Robinson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Froggy this morning. Good morning. Thank you. Well-read proclamation. Mental health is important, not to just me personally, but people I know, people in my district, that we all have mental challenges from time to time, as the proclamation stated, from just general stress. Everything is not trauma. But the reason I bring that out, that it is important, as the proclamation said, that it's not just about judicial and intervention, that now we want to focus on mental health. It's not about the incarceration or over the jail, that you got 25% of our inmates over there that has some type of mental health challenge that probably shouldn't be in there, right? This proclamation is about before you get there. It's the preventative. And, as you know, this would be the 8th month in which, or the 8th year in which I have sponsored a mental health awareness forum. And when we started this way back then, 14, 15, this is when, again, they stopped putting people in jail. They had to have alternative sentencing options. This is when the accountability courts came online. This is important because it was at that point to me, at that time, we'll call him still Chief Judge McLean, we had this conversation, the difference between, okay, intervention and prevention. I was trying to encourage them because I got the board at that time, a 5-0 vote, to put mental health money into the budget that still stands today. And I was with Judge McLean. He says, well, no, that's not my responsibility. I said, wait a minute, I'm going to give you $50,000. Can you? No, I'm just focusing on the court side, intervention. I said, oh, I got it. Separation. Got it. So there is a preventative part that we have to play, the small businesses, the family members, everybody else other than the courts. And so I want to drive home that point that we do have a responsibility for our peers, our families, our brothers, but also for our own lives. And I think this is so important. And again, in the 8th annual that we're talking about, and we'll talk about a little bit later, we've dealt with veterans. We've dealt with women. We've dealt with children. We've dealt with families. We've dealt with people with COVID. We've tackled every type of issue you can think of to bring awareness that, look, everybody has a challenge from time to time, but get help. I remember the old got milk. Get help. Get some proper help for that. I mean, it's easy for me to go to the eye doctor again one more time next week. Talk about the physical part. We all perhaps have, from time to time, may have a physical challenge. It's not easy to talk about the mental, but it's something that we've got to get into, and you've got to get help to stay healthy for your family. So I just wanted to highlight that. Thank you for giving me that extra few minutes to highlight this mental health. This is important for Douglas County, and thank you guys all for who are weighing in on this, such as Ray Light Rover at CSB. I yield, Madam Chair, Vice Chair.
Thank you. Any other discussion? I will say that mental health is very important. It's as important as getting your physicals. It's as important as waking up every morning and taking in your breaths, right? Just breathing and meditating. So I challenge each and every one of us as we go throughout the day and life stresses hits us, stop for a moment, take a breather. If you need to, go to the side and talk to a coworker. Talk to me. I hear it all. So I just want to ensure that each and every one of us are taking our mental health seriously, because if you are not at your best, you cannot be your best to serve others. So we have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your vote accordingly. And the motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Board of Commissioners, we will now go into our new business. Tab number 7, authorization for Douglas County Sheriff's Office to renew the inmate housing agreement with the City of Douglasville Police Department and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending legal review. And this will be given by Chief Tavares Pounds. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Douglasville City Inmate Housing Agreement. As far as anyone at our office can remember, we've always charged the City of Douglasville $35 per day to house their inmates. In 2020, due to the increase in inmate medical costs, we've added $2.52 to the daily $35 cost. We have experienced inflation all across the board, to include but not limited to inmate medical, food costs, and overtime due to staff shortages. In 2023, we reevaluated the estimated cost of housing one inmate per day and presented the findings to the sheriff. The sheriff has authorized us to go to $60 a day, which, based on last year's cost, will increase our income from the city by $198,888. The amount of income we expect to bring in from the city after this change is $506,432. compared to $307,551.41 from last year. In comparison, Cobb County Sheriff's Office's current rate is $77 per day per inmate. But keep in mind, they have a bigger facility, more inmates, and more employees.
Thank you. Board of Commissioners, do you have any questions regarding this authorization to allow the sheriffs to renew the inmate housing agreement with the city of Douglasville? Commissioner Robinson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. All right, this is good. So $2.50 increase. Was that enough, though? And again, I'm with you. I'm just following the logic line that it's been $35 since I've been there. So that's a minimum of 15 years. And the cost, I know the cost that we're incurring on your behalf, obviously the Sheriff's Office, has risen. And so so if I were doing the math, is that the right number? You know, I'm always I'm on your side. So, but was that the right number, and how did we arrive at that number? Did the city signed off on this? 3. And 4, well, why wasn't this taken up during the SDS negotiations with the city when we had an opportunity to offset all of our functional areas? Is the county attorney here? Is he here?
He is.
All right. Counselor, is this something that could have been taken up during that process, the SDS negotiation with our cities?
It perhaps could have been. I would like to discuss with our special counsel that aspect of it and then report back to you. As you know, we engage special counsel on the SDS. I'd like to discuss with him that aspect and report back to you.
No problem. We won't let that belabor the moment. We'll take that offline. I already knew the answer. This is, you know, and I appreciate you guys even bringing this up. You know, that was our responsibility to negotiate with our cities. That SDS, service delivery. Like, this was my point. One more time, we like, okay, we paying this, but did we look at everything? I made my point. So, are you okay with the $2.50? I mean, I'm trusting your numbers. I mean, I'm willing to go higher, but has the city signed off on this? Are they waiting on us to approve this or what? See, I don't know where we stand in this process. Can you help us out?
The city has agreed and has signed off, but the $2.52 was just added for the inmate medical costs.
Just medical?
To the already $35 per day per inmate.
Just medical?
Yes. But we went from $35 to $60 per day moving forward.
You have?
Yes.
And that's going to be effective. I'm just asking, when is that effective date?
As soon as y'all approve it.
Okay. Okay. $2. All right, I'm going to yield right now. See what y'all have to say. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Robinson. Any other discussion points?
Yes, Madam Vice Chair.
Yes.
I spoke with a little bit with them about this yesterday. So obviously, you know, we're going almost, you know, about a 30% increase, correct? Or about 35% increase on this. And the city's absolutely fine with paying this additional cost.
Yes.
So then I have absolutely no problem with this, and I yield back, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you. Lieutenant Colonel Pounds, y'all have a lot of titles, so forgive me if I don't get it right. But Lieutenant Colonel Pounds, how much has the budget increased since COVID-19? Do you know?
I have to get back to you on that one because I don't have the numbers right in front of me, so I can't give you an accurate answer.
Got you, but the medical costs have definitely increased.
Yes, because inflation, of course, but they are also short-staffed as well.
So the medical company that you all contract with is short as well?
Yes, ma'am.
With staff, which
Yes.
means the cost of care costs more because they're having to incur more costs from the people that they're contracting to provide the services?
Correct.
Okay. So, and on your end, you all are short-staffed as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And so overtime is eating you all up as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. And I often hear constituents say, we don't have enough, you know, sheriff's deputies, and to that we say, you are trying, correct?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Okay. When dealing with the inmates and with dealing with taking in the city of Douglasville, are there different parameters that you all have to follow?
No, ma'am, they abide by the same rules as the county inmates or anyone else that sentence their state sentence as well.
That sends you? And your agreement with the state to house inmates, is it the same amount as the city of Douglasville?
So with the state, we hold those for like pre-trial. So once they've gone to court and if they are convicted, then they go to the different prison systems. They go to the diagnostic centers that's in Jackson, Georgia. And then they go to the various state prisons within the state of Georgia. So I'm not sure that there's a cost that we actually incur from that.
Okay, got you. But one of the biggest costs that you guys do incur is the medical costs, right?
And food costs.
And food costs. Got
and
you.
Again, the overtime.
And the overtime.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. We're short-staffed here in the county too. So do you anticipate, I know this is a 12-month agreement, do you guys anticipate it going above $60 or will you reassess it at that time?
At this moment, I think the Chief Sparks and the sheriff have come to an agreement, but with the understanding that if we get even more short-staffed or they have more inmates or the cost of living or the cost of food and medical would go up, then we will go up as well.
That we will have to revisit it?
Yes.
Okay, understandable. Thank you. Commissioner Robinson, you have the floor.
Yes. No, I'm glad this is a good trigger. It's interesting. This past week, we were, all three of us were in Savannah for our annual conference, Education, You Must Be Certified, Know What You Talk About. And I had the benefit of being in a law enforcement in counties class. So 30 of my peers from across this state, everything from Toombs County all the way up to Gwinnett. Great room of 30 people. But luckily, in that case of commissioners, we had one visiting an actual sheriff in there. We got in this whole topic about what was important. My question, as you guys know, I'm like, okay, sheriff, since you're in this room, so what's the most important thing, law enforcement or law detention? And he said, that's a very fair question, because I said, well, where do I wait? What's important? And so everybody, all eyes was on him. He's from Barrow County. All right, that sheriff, you guys may know him, but he came correct. He says, I would pick detention. Order on the inside first. Get your house in order. That's his words. All right, so I'm using that now to weight what I'm talking about. So it's like, okay, I got it. So you got to apply what you learn. And so I'm looking at this inside, and I'm hearing medical, I'm hearing all those things associated with that. Are our facilities up to par? Is it, I mean, I'm looking at everything going on in other counties, not just on TV. It's not like talk to your peers and say, oh, really? So I'm asking you, are we doing okay in the jail? I mean, I know we've got a SPLOST that's coming along. Has anything had been earmarked for that? I mean, are you okay with where that jail is? I mean, again, Eighth Amendment. Can you talk to us for a minute about that?
Sure. As far as normal wear and tear on the jail, it's, everything is going as it should be. Yes, in the past we have, with the SPLOST, we've discussed some things that we need to get done. And they are actually working on that as we currently speak. I'm not sure exactly how far along they are with that. But as far as just the building maintenance, we have our own maintenance crew that takes care of what they can. But at the same time, some things we have to redo or some things we have to start over and do again. So I think that was included inside the SPLOST. But to answer your question, yes, as far as the jail itself and the facilities, yes, it's up to par.
And you would tell us that there was a real issue, right? We know that you guys control the jail. And we will always respect that authority and constitutionality. But you would tell us if we got to the place like some of the stuff we're seeing, right? We would never get to that place, would we?
No, sir.
You would come to the board and say, come on, guys, come clean. You would tell us.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. No doubt about it.
All right, then my last point again is back to this whole notion of detention and pay. And what they do. Do you plan on bringing something forth later this year about compensation, or do you have enough overtime money that you can make it work within your own rights?
Well, that all depends on how many people we can hire, and we are constantly, I'm actually in the process before I was here discussing with someone that's actually leaving, that worked inside of the jail.
Yes.
There are different things that we can try as far as compensation, but compensation isn't always the thing that's going to keep people there. If it was about the money, then we probably won't have employees to begin with. And what I mean by that is because they can go right down the street up to the city, Cobb County, Fulton, or Gwinnett County and make more money.
Right.
So the compensation is very important. Yes, sir, absolutely. But there are other things that we can actually try to attract more people to come to Douglas County to work.
Yeah, it's not always just about background check and false narratives. I mean, again, it's creating an atmosphere that people want to do that work and keeping attrition down and stuff. So whatever you guys, I know you guys were talking about at the beginning of this year, so I look forward to seeing whatever, let's not pull up on that, okay?
Yes, sir.
Bring it forward. Thank you for responding. Madam Vice Chair, I yield. Thank you.
Thank you. Lieutenant Colonel Pounds, how full is the jail currently?
Right now, as far as inmates go, correct?
Correct.
At this moment, we have 665 inmates. 22 of those are city inmates.
22 are city inmates.
We had a capacity of 1,580. But
Okay.
we averaged, last month it was over 700. What we have is an average daily population.
Okay.
And sometimes we went up to 800, but never been full capacity.
Never been at full capacity. Okay, thank you. Board of Commissioners, you have heard the business item. Do I have a motion?
Madam Vice Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept or to allow the Douglas County Sheriff's Office to renew an inmate housing agreement with the City of Douglasville Police Department.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Being none, please prepare to cast your vote. And the motion carries 3-0. Lieutenant Colonel Pounds, you also have the next agenda item, authorization to renew an annual agreement with BASICS to conduct annual fire alarm inspections and semi-annual detector cleaning in the amount of $19,209 to be funded through the Sheriff's Office budget, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review.
Yes, ma'am. We've had this fire alarm system and software since the building opened. We're very satisfied with the software, the cost, and the customer service. The current contract for the fire alarm maintenance and system testing is $19,209, which is an increase of $961 from last year. The situation came up with one of our other contracts that have been auto-renewing since the inception with former Commissioner Tom Worthen and signed, and we were just getting invoiced for the current year. We began an audit looking for other contracts to be affected in the same way. We located this base 6 contract, which was occurring in the same manner. The contract was delayed because of this situation, and we are currently out of contract.
Got you. Thank you for that. Board of Commissioners, do you have any questions for Lieutenant Colonel Pounds regarding this item? Being none, I will accept a motion to approve this item.
Madam Vice Chair, I'd like to make a motion to allow the Sheriff's Office to renew an annual agreement with BASICS to conduct their annual fire alarm inspections and semiconductor cleanings.
I'll second that. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your vote. And the motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Pounds.
Thank you.
Board of Commissioners, we will move on to our next agenda item, tab number 9, reappointment of Tommy Nicholson to the Hospital Authority of Douglas County effective immediately. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your vote. And the motion passes unanimously. We will go on to tab number 10, the appointment of Commissioner Kelly Robinson to the Douglasville TAG Committee as the county representative. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Please vote accordingly. And the motion passes unanimously. We will now go on to tab number 11, the appointment of Commissioner Kelly Robinson as chairman of the BOC Programming Committee. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your vote accordingly. And the motion passed 3-0. Mr. Robinson, you taking on all the committees, huh? Tab number 12, authorization for the chairman or vice chairman to execute a separation agreement upon the recommendation of the county attorney pending final legal review. Do I have a motion? Second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I have a motion and a second. No discussion. Please prepare to cast your vote accordingly. And the motion carries unanimously. We will now go into our consent agenda. Deputy Clerk Sherry, can you read the consent agenda for us?
Yes, ma'am. Number 13, authorization to accept the fiscal year 23 recycling, waste reduction, and diversion grant from the Environmental Protection Division of the Georgia Department of Natural Resources in the amount of $115,400 with no match to purchase 4 compactor balers for recycling at the Cedar Mountain landfill, amend the budget, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 14, authorization to accept a supplemental project framework agreement number 1 with Georgia Department of Transportation for PI number 0012877 Greenway Trail Project in the amount of $3 million with a local match of $600,000 to be funded from the Capital Transportation Fund as recommended by the Transportation Committee, amend the budget, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 15, authorization to accept a check from the Petco Love Foundation vaccine campaign in the amount of $6,300 with no match, awarded due to the high number of community animals that were vaccinated against infectious diseases during the 2022 year, and will be used to continue to fund Douglas County Animal Shelter's spay and neuter program. Amend the budget and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 16, consideration of a memorandum of understanding and an IGA with Foxhall Farms, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 17, authorization to award a contract to Fire Training Structures, LLC, in the amount of $499,971 for a fire burn building to be funded by the 2016 SPLOST pursuant to solicitation 23-009, and authorize the chairman or vice chair to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 18, authorization to enter into a client services agreement with HR TrueCheck to provide employment screening services for new hires to the fire department at a cost of $30 per job applicant to be funded through the department's existing budget, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 19, authorization to remove former Fire Chief Roderick Jovelette from the Region 3 EMS Advisory Council and appoint EMS Chief Stacy Farmer. Number 20, approval of certificate of preliminary plat for Colonel Cove Industrial Subdivision. Number 21, approval of change order number 2 in the amount of $90,876 on the contract with the Corbett Group LLC for Stewart Mill Road at Reynolds Road intersection improvement project to be funded from 2016 SPLOST funds as recommended by the Transportation Committee, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 22, approval of supplemental agreement number 8 in the amount of $59,744.89 on the contract with Michael Baker International for design services during construction of Lee Road Phase 2 widening project to be funded from 2016 SPLOST funds as recommended by the Transportation Committee, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 23, approval of second amendment to the contract with Central Square Technologies LLC for computer-aided dispatch upgrade project, revising the payment schedule to reflect the total amount of $117,000 due upon execution of amendment to be funded through the encumbered 2022 budget funds, $91,250 for Douglas County E911, and $25,750 for Douglas County Fire and EMS, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 24, authorization to enter into a consulting agreement with Tisha Carter to provide human resources consulting in the amount of $9,600 per month for May through December 2023, to be funded from the Human Resources Department's budget with no impact, and to waive compliance with the Douglas County procurement policy pursuant to Section 4.1.2, waiver of proposals, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 25, approval to forego collection of taxes of property owned by the county, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. Board of Commissioners, you have heard the consent agenda. Are there any items that you would like to discuss? Being none, I will accept a motion to approve the consent agenda as read.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your vote accordingly. And the motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Board of Commissioners. We will now move into our announcements. Our announcements will be rendered by our own Wendy Cottle. As Wendy is coming to the podium, today we did honor our seniors, but our seniors have a very important day coming up on May 24th. That is their senior prom. And as of yesterday, they only had 11 spots open. So if you are 55 and older and you want to attend the senior prom, you should contact the Lithia Springs at 770-920-7575. Only 11 spots, so get in quickly. Wendy Cottle, you have the floor.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Please join Commissioner Kelly Robinson and CSB Executive Director Ray Lightford as they host the 8th Annual Mental Health Forum. Mark the date, Thursday, May 25th, 2023, and look for more details to come. Douglas County recently launched its 2023 Transit Master Plan in partnership with the Atlanta Region Transit Link Authority to provide a comprehensive vision for the Douglas County transit system. Douglas County invites stakeholders who live or work in the community to join the conversation on the future of transit by participating in the upcoming Transit Master Plan surveys available at connectdouglas.com/Douglas County TMP. The Douglas County Transit Master Plan will balance the technical analysis with a robust public engagement process. Douglas County Senior Services, Douglas County Parks and Recreation, and Douglasville Parks and Recreation will host a senior prom on Wednesday, May 24th, 2023, from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Douglasville Conference Center located at 6700 Church Street. You must be 55 and older to attend, and registration is required. For registration information, please visit celebratedouglascounty.com or call 770-920-7575. And as Vice Chair Carthen just said, there's only 11 spots left, so don't miss it. The probate office will be open on the following Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for all probate services, July 8th, 2023, and October 7th, 2023. The annual Veterans Community Outreach Day will be held on Saturday, June 10th, from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. Veterans organizations will attend to help with everything from benefits to homelessness to job placement and more. There will also be free food, music, and vendors. For updates and more information, Subscribe to our social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, by searching @DCSheriffGA. That's @DCSheriffGA. Keep Douglas County Beautiful will host a mattress recycling event this Saturday, May 6, 2023, from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. in the Douglas County Courthouse parking lot. Mattresses and box springs are acceptable. The event is free and all of Douglas County is welcome. For more information, please call 770-309-1212 or email istewart@douglascountyga.gov. That concludes the announcements. I yield.
Thank you, Ms. Cottle. Attorney Coleman, do we need to go into executive session?
Madam Chair, I have nothing for executive session today.
Thank you. Is there anything else to come before the board? Being none, this meeting is adjourned.